Do you see me? Do you guys see me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, good evening and welcome to day 2 of my Omen Wellness launch. My name is Dr. Theodora. I am a doctor of pharmacy and I am a certified functional medicine specialist. Yesterday we talked about why functional medicine can change your life, or how functional medicine can change your life. And today we're going to talk about why the hair tissue mineral analysis is going to blow your mind. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Give me one moment while I do that, and then we'll get started. Let's see. Here we go. We're going to share the Chrome tab. All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
And you can see me okay? And can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. Oh, someone, let me let her in. Okay, cool. We're about to present this. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Why the hair tissue mineral analysis will blow your minds. This is part 2. And let's get started. So yesterday, again, we talked about the basics and introduction to me and my business and how functional medicine can change your life. Today, we're going to talk more details about minerals and the hair tissue mineral analysis test. And tomorrow, I'm actually going to give you an example of what the HTMA looks like. I'm going to show you my HTMA report and what it would look like if you hired me and you ordered one of these tests. So we'll go through that tomorrow. So kind of more specifically, what we're going to talk about today is what causes mineral deficiencies, excesses, and imbalances. Some fun facts. What's a heavy metal? How do you know if you have one? Why you shouldn't take supplements just to take supplements. The most important minerals. And this is the part that'll blow your mind. It's about the ratios of minerals. I have a little bit of a giveaway. So if you are here tonight and you are active in the comments, or if you ask a question or a comment at the end, that'll make you eligible to win a little something, something. And then I will take any questions that there might be. And that's about it for tonight. So here's a fun fact. Did you know that premature graying or whitening of the hair can be a sign of a mineral imbalance? Dark hair gets its color from manganese and iron. So if someone with dark hair is depleted in these minerals, their hair can start to become duller or even gray. And then when hair starts to turn white, this could be a signal that there's too much calcium or zinc in the body, and then it precipitates in the hair. Because both calcium and zinc are white, then it starts to show up in your hair if there's an excess in your body. So that's a little fun fact for you. What else can cause a mineral imbalance? It could be the standard American diet, which is full of refined and highly processed foods, which lack a good balance of nutrients. Both coffee and alcohol are known to deplete the body of magnesium and other nutrients. So if you're drinking a ton of alcohol or coffee, you could be low in magnesium. And sometimes when we are eating a healthy diet, we may not be getting the nutrients we think we're getting. Maybe the soil is deficient of certain minerals, or the food was picked too early to be shipped across the world. Poor gut health can also be a reason why we may not be getting the nutrients we think we're getting. Stress. Stress is a big one. Both physical and emotional stress deplete the body of many nutrients. Chronic stress, including you're holding on to unaddressed traumas, interferes with how well you are absorbing nutrients in your gut and how well you are eliminating waste and toxins. So at the bottom here, I have this little arrow that just kind of shows you two sides of the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you're all the way over here to the right in your sympathetic nervous system, you're probably running away from an immediate danger, like a tiger or a bear or whatever. Chucky, I don't know. If you're over here on this other side, parasympathetic nervous system, you're in relaxation mode, rest, digest. So when we're chronically stressed, we may not be way over here and at the point that we're running away from a tiger, but we may be sitting more on this side of things. And when we're in this system, we're not really meant to be digesting our food, because just think about it. If you're running away from a tiger, you don't want to have to stop to use the bathroom. So we want to be over here to adequately absorb our nutrients. Not that we can't come over here sometimes when we need to, but we're supposed to be able to come back over to the parasympathetic side and relax and digest our food and absorb our nutrients. All right, what else can cause a mineral imbalance? Oh my gosh, so many things, right? Medications are a huge one. And man, does America love drugs. 75% of the world's prescription drugs are used in the US, when the US is just 5% of the world's population. And many medications cause mineral imbalances, including, but certainly not limited to, birth control pills, IUDs, antacids, and antidepressants, just to name a few. Many medications cause mineral imbalances. So birth control and IUD can make the body hold on to copper, and copper toxicity is known to have a variety of psychological effects. Antacids are a big one. You need stomach acid to digest your food. Certain nutrients require an acidic environment in order to be absorbed, including iron, magnesium, B12, and zinc. And over time, having these nutritional deficiencies will cause ill effects in your body. Also, the acidic environment is meant to kill pathogens. Chronic use of antacids can lead to microbial infections, microbiome disturbances, and poor gut health, further destroying your ability to get the nutrients that your body needs. Antidepressants, for example, SSRIs like Zoloft and Prozac, can cause folate and sodium deficiencies. And in my opinion, this is one of the reasons why antidepressants and antacids kind of stop working after a while, is because after a while you've developed some kind of mineral imbalance, and that is causing ill effects in your body. So one free resource for checking your medications is mytavin.com, mytavin.com, and you can put in your drug and see what kind of nutritional deficiencies it causes. If you're curious, that's a resource you can look at. What else can cause a mineral imbalance? Supplements. Taking the incorrect type of supplements for your body or in an inappropriate amount. What else? Genetics. We touched on this a bit yesterday, but depending on your genes, you may need to be more vigilant than the rest of the population in consuming certain nutrients. So I gave you the example of myself yesterday and how, because of my genetics, I need to make sure I'm consuming extra folate, or else I'm more prone to become depressed. So pollution's a big one. Cigarette smoke, that's known to have cadmium. Hair dyes and cosmetics can have lead. Hydrogenated oils, which are the highly processed oils. Most oils that restaurants use, and hopefully you're not using, but we can talk about oils later if you want. Ask me in the FAQ if you're curious. Antiperspirants have aluminum, and so do cookware. Dental fillings might have mercury, so could some fish. And auto exhaust can also have heavy metals. So these are just a few of the hundreds of sources of heavy metals which can contribute to nutritional imbalances and have adverse metabolic effects. What is a heavy metal? Not that heavy metal, not the rock band. Minerals, first of all, a mineral is an element on Earth or in our food that our body needs to develop and function normally. A heavy metal is a mineral, but it's just a mineral that the body has no use for. And it contributes to metabolic dysfunctions in two primary ways. Number one, they accumulate in the vital organs, such as the brain, heart, kidneys, and liver, and thereby can disrupt their function. Number two, they displace the vital nutritional minerals from being in their original place, thereby hindering their biological function. Sometimes, when we accumulate even too much of a good mineral that our bodies do need, then the mineral acts like a heavy metal because it starts to become toxic to our body in high amounts. So, some examples are copper, zinc, iron, cobalt, manganese, and nickel. These are all required in trace amounts, but if they're found in excess, then they are toxic. So, if you ever hear me use the term toxic minerals, then this term would include both the heavy metals that your body has no use for, and also the minerals that your body does have a use for, but are just found to be in excess in your body. Whew, I think I need a breather. How about you guys? It's a lot of information so far. How's everyone doing? Put in the chat if you're bored yet.
Yes. We have a question actually from Alan. Do you want to answer it already? Yeah. He was asking if can we get our color back from being gray?
Yes, you can. If the reason that you're going gray is due to a mineral imbalance, then restoring your minerals can help reduce the gray. Pretty cool, right? Okay. Who remembers the periodic table of elements from school? So there's the minerals that we need and some minerals that we don't need. So the heavy metals are elements having an atomic number greater than 20, and they are atomically dense. And this is kind of interesting. A certain heavy metal accumulation is more likely if you're deficient in a certain mineral that has similar properties to that particular heavy metal. So, in other words, if you're deficient in a mineral that is kind of close on the periodic table to a heavy metal, then your body is going to hold on to that heavy metal because it's the closest thing it has to that mineral that it needs, and it's not going to want to let go. So oftentimes by correcting your mineral deficiency, then the heavy metal will get displaced. So nutrition is like the best thing you can do for heavy metals, but there are some other things that we can do as well. So a certain heavy metal accumulation is more likely if you are having problems with your gut and detoxification pathways. Maybe your liver isn't working to its optimal function and it's not doing its job of eliminating the mineral excesses. So those are two things that could be why you're holding on to heavy metals. In addition to being exposed. If you are still being exposed, obviously you want to find out what you're exposed to and get away from that. So how do you know if you have a mineral deficiency, excess, or imbalance? Well, you probably do, because statistics. And also, we Americans eat poorly and we drink too much caffeine and too much alcohol and we take too many drugs and we're stressed. There's a study done here in good old North Carolina, where I'm from, that only 12% of American adults are metabolically healthy. So that means about 90% of the population is thought to have some kind of metabolic dysfunction. And if you're not experiencing symptoms yet, you probably will eventually. And so what's cool then is that the hair tissue mineral analysis can show you what metabolic direction you're headed in so that we can take preventative measures now. The HTMA is an accurate test when performed correctly to analyze mineral levels and patterns in the body and is a useful tool for preventative medicine. All right, so going back to how do you know if you have a mineral deficiency, excess, or imbalance? Here are some possible symptoms. There's a ton of them. but here are a few. Minerals are required for the enzymatic processes to occur in our bodies and to convert food into energy. So therefore, the number one symptom of a mineral deficiency or imbalance is lack of energy. So fatigue, headaches, weight gain or difficulty losing weight, attention deficit, high blood pressure, dizziness, depression, anxiety, mood swings, irritability, psychological problems, all that can be caused by mineral imbalances, trouble regulating your blood glucose, hair loss or brittle nails, irregular heartbeat, burning sensations or tingling or numbness in various parts of the body, arthritic type of pain, joint pain, skin disturbances, and so much more. So you can see why nutrition is so important, and checking your minerals is such a great first step in the right direction of uncovering whatever is going on with you. Why you shouldn't take supplements just to take supplements. Very frequently, taking a mineral supplement can lead to a mineral excess or imbalance, which can then start to have negative impacts on your health over time, such as those symptoms that we just listed on the previous page. Our bodies can hold on to mineral excesses that we were exposed to from years ago. Our bodies will often need help eliminating any mineral excesses as they are not as easily cleared from your body as most vitamins. It is better to test than guess, especially when it comes to minerals. Okay, so you see this big ball of, it's actually minerals all the way across. Each mineral can be either antagonistic or so each mineral can either increase another mineral or decrease another mineral level. A lot of them work synergistically or antagonistically. And X law of minerals states that every mineral has effect on another mineral. So that's why it's not good to just be supplementing with one mineral for an extended period of time, because it's going to cause abnormalities in other minerals and even vitamins. Symptoms of a mineral deficiency are often identical to symptoms to a mineral excess due to biounavailable buildup. And the balance between minerals are expressed mathematically in what's been identified as significant ratios. And to me, this is the part that's going to blow your mind. And we'll get to it in a minute. The main minerals need to be maintained and supported in a certain balance, or else disease results. So here's just a few examples of how vitamins and minerals are interconnected. Did you know that taking a zinc supplement can reduce your copper in your body and cause a copper deficiency? Zinc can also reduce the beneficial effects of vitamin D. Speaking of vitamin D, did you know that supplementing with vitamin D can cause a magnesium deficiency? And high doses of vitamin C can also cause a copper deficiency. And did you know that taking a calcium supplement can reduce the beneficial effects of vitamin A? So as you can see, just supplementing just to supplement, you might be causing damage to your body. All right, some notes about the hair test. This is kind of off topic, but not really. But this is just if you do decide to take the hair test with me, just some information so that you're aware. Scalp hair is preferred, about an inch of hair, but it doesn't have to be an inch if you don't have an inch. Just grow it as much as you can. And even if it's just, shavings, just get what you can in there. But if you get about an inch of hair, it tells you about the last 3 months of activity in your body. Whereas if you're only getting less than that, and maybe it's just a few weeks worth, So we're getting the hair closest to the scalp, and I will send you a video of me collecting somebody's hair sample if you decide to purchase one of these. You also have to stop any medicated shampoos, such as those for dandruff, at least 3 weeks before taking your hair sample. And if you dye your hair or have chemically treated hair, Wait until your roots grow out a bit, so that way you're only donating the non-treated portion of your hair closest to the scalp. And I will mail you the hair sample kit. And right now I'm taking mostly just people inside the US, but I may expand later. There are some workarounds. Also, the state of New York has some strange laws. So the lab company will not accept anybody's from New York's hair sample. But the workaround is I would mail you the hair sample kit if you're in New York. You would have to mail it back to me, and then I would mail it to the lab. So that's kind of the workaround. As long as the postage doesn't see that it's been in New York, they'll accept the hair sample. Okay, so we're going to move on. Kind of getting back onto topic. So, the most common mineral deficiencies. The most common nutritional deficiency in the whole world is iron deficiency. And the HTMA, what's cool is it can detect this before it'll ever show up on your blood work. And it's even more common in women, children, and people who don't eat meat. Other than iron, in men, they may be more likely to have deficiencies in calcium and magnesium. In women, they may be more likely to have deficiencies in potassium and sodium. Children may be calcium, seniors may be calcium and magnesium. But that's not a blanket rule. And just because it's common doesn't mean it applies to you and doesn't mean you should take that. And guessing wrong can not only be a waste of time, money, energy, but on top of that, it can end up causing you harm. Okay, so this is the cool part, the significant ratios. I was very fascinated to learn about all the information that you can learn by examining the ratio of minerals to one another. It can tell you about your metabolism, your stress levels, your thyroid function, your hormone function, your adrenal function, how well your insulin and blood glucose is working, and how well your immune system is working. Isn't that amazing? So we'll talk about calcium to phosphorus first. This is called the metabolism ratio, and it can tell you whether your metabolism is acting too fast or too slow. And if it's too fast, sometimes that puts you in a catabolic state where you're breaking down muscle. And it can also tell you if you're getting enough protein. The next ratio is called the stress ratio, and it's sodium to potassium is the ratio that we're looking at there. And that can tell me if you're acutely stressed, like more in your sympathetic nervous system, like running away from the bear, or are you beyond that and you're like chronically burned out? That's me. I'm burned out. I'm still recovering from burnout from my job and my life. And if you listened to the video yesterday, you would hear more about my story. But many of us get to that point. If you are, let me get back to that actually. If you're acutely stressed for too long, you can get to the burnout phase. Okay. So next is the calcium to potassium ratio, and that tells us information about your thyroid. Is your thyroid tending to be hyperactive, or is it tending to be kind of sluggish? And then zinc to copper is the hormone ratio, and that can tell us some information regarding testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen activity. So it's kind of like a screening tool there. Estrogen is tied to copper, and zinc is tied to testosterone and progesterone. Okay, and then sodium to magnesium, that's your adrenal ratio. And that tells us if your adrenals are overactive or if you have extreme adrenal fatigue, like I do. And I'm going to go over my results tomorrow so you can see what that would look like. Okay, calcium to magnesium is the blood sugar ratio. So that gives us information about if you have a tendency for hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia, and a little bit about how well like your insulin is working. And then last but not least is the iron to copper ratio, and this is called the immune ratio. And this can tell us if you have a healthy immune system. Isn't that amazing? I'm totally nerding out on this stuff. That's why I think it'll blow your mind. Okay, so come back tomorrow to see a real life example of the HTMA, and I'll show you what it would look like if you ordered it from me. I'll explain my pricing tomorrow about how much it costs. I have a couple different offers, and I'm also going to explain a special offer that's going to be lasting till the end of the week. So I'll go over all that tomorrow. And then I was going to do some questions, answer any questions that may be having. And since yesterday, nobody had any questions, I created some questions. So feel free to put your questions in the chat while I'm answering these questions. Okay, so does it matter where I get my supplements? Yes. Supplements are not regulated by the FDA, and cheaper supplements have cheaper formulations of nutrients in them, which may not be as bioavailable or absorbable to our bodies. Cheaper supplements also may say that there's X ingredient in there at Y amount, but if no one's regulating them, they might be selling you dirt in a capsule for all you know. Or there may be additional ingredients in there that might not be listed, and they can also be contaminated with heavy metals or other substances. But if you ordered with me the HTMA, I would hand pick out supplement recommendations from my Fullscript account where I can get quality, medical grade quality supplements. There's another option, which is through Vicon, which is a pharmacy in Canada. I have lots of great things to say about them, but they are significantly more expensive. But like anything, usually you get what you pay for. So what's so awesome about them is they source their ingredients relatively local, all from North America. And most of them are either natural or organic. And there's never anything artificial in them. And they do third-party testing to make sure that their supplements meet high quality standards. And they also test them to make sure that they're free of heavy metals. And what's also cool is Vicon was created specifically based on these hair tissue mineral analysis patterns that we commonly see, whether you're like a fast metabolizer or a slow metabolizer, or there's also something called 4 lows where you're deficient in the 4 most important minerals. So they have a custom blend of like a multivitamin and multi-mineral based on this science of the HTMA and what your body would need based on your metabolic profile. And what's also cool about that is you only have to, they can custom add things to that base based on what comes up in your HTMA, so that instead of you having to take maybe 7 or 8 different supplements, it's all in one powder, and then you just have to take that powder twice a day. And that could also be beneficial if you have someone who can't swallow pills, or maybe kids who don't want to swallow pills. But again, they are more expensive. A 3-month supply might cost you around $350 to $400. Speaking of cost of supplements, what your cost of supplements would look like would vary. I have had clients who need 7 or 8 supplements. If you get it from the Fullscript account, that might be around $150 or something. Whereas I've also had clients who only needed 2 supplements, and they might get by with like $20 or $30 or something, or it depends how much they buy at a time too, or where you're buying it from. So how long does it take to get treated? The disturbances we catch in your body, they didn't develop overnight, so it's going to take time to correct. And how much time will, again, depend on what comes up and how severe it is, but possibly as little as 3 months, or as long as a year, or sometimes even longer if you have a lot of things going on. People who are extremely burned out often experience extreme adrenal fatigue, and it could take years to recover from burnout. Okay, that's the end for now. I hope you guys will come back for tomorrow, where I'll go over my hair tissue mineral analysis with you guys and talk about pricing and stuff. And we're going to do a giveaway Let me get out of here, see if there's any questions.
We have another question from Alan. He is asking if how long to get the results.
Okay, so once you send in your hair tissue mineral analysis test to the lab, usually about 2 weeks, you'll get your results. And I would schedule a call with you and take probably about an hour to go. I'll go over it in detail with you. Did my screen stop sharing?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right. And that's it for today. Did anybody have any other questions?
That's it. That's
Okay.
as of the moment.
All right, Alan, I'm gonna send you your prize because you were definitely the most active in the chat. And I don't know, you might already have this prize, but what I was gonna give away was a signed copy of my book. So this is a book that me and my colleagues wrote with my mentor, and it has all of our stories and how functional medicine changed our lives. And Shannon, thank you for commenting. I am also going to mail you a copy of this book. And I appreciate you guys coming on. So I think I have both of their addresses, so I don't need to do that right now, but I will get this in the mail to you soon. All right, if nobody has any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the call for tonight, and I hope I will see you tomorrow for the finale. All right, bye everyone.